For years, David Bromstad was known as a symbol of color, confidence, and joy on television. His energy felt effortless, his smile constant, his life seemingly balanced. But behind that public image, stress was quietly piling up, and trauma was slowly taking root. What viewers didn't see was how quickly life can unravel when pressure, loss, and emotional exhaustion collide. Everything changed when a devastating storm destroyed his Florida home. What should have been a physical rebuild quickly became an emotional one. The damage wasn't just to walls and foundations, it struck at his sense of safety, stability, and control. The stress of rebuilding, financial strain, constant decisions, and uncertainty created an overwhelming mental load. Instead of processing that pain, it stayed buried, growing heavier with time. As the pressure mounted, Bromstad found himself searching for relief. Not solutions, relief. That's where stress quietly turned into trauma, and trauma slowly turned into substance abuse. He later admitted that he began using drugs as a way to escape the anxiety, emotional exhaustion, and the relentless feeling of being overwhelmed. It wasn't about partying or rebellion. It was about numbing pain that felt too heavy to carry sober. What makes this story important is how honest he was about that reality. Drug addiction didn't arrive suddenly or dramatically. It crept in quietly, disguised as coping. Stress blurred into dependency, and dependency became routine. Bromstad has described this period as one where he felt disconnected from himself, functioning outwardly but unraveling inwardly. Eventually, the weight became impossible to ignore. The escape no longer worked. Instead of relief, substances amplified his anxiety and emotional instability. That's when he reached a critical realization. The problem wasn't just addiction, it was unresolved trauma. And without addressing that trauma, recovery would never truly last. That understanding led him to seek help through a trauma-based treatment program. This wasn't a surface-level fix or a quick reset. Trauma-based treatment focuses on uncovering the root causes behind addiction, the emotional wounds, the stress responses, and the psychological patterns that drive harmful behavior. For Bromstad, this meant confronting fear, loss, and vulnerability head-on without the buffer of substances. Inside treatment, he learned that addiction often isn't about weakness, but about survival. The brain, under prolonged stress, looks for relief wherever it can find it. Drugs become a tool, not a desire. Recognizing this helped him replace shame with understanding, a crucial step in healing mental health. Recovery didn't end when treatment did. It became a daily commitment. Bromstad has spoken about how rebuilding his mental health required honesty, discipline, and patience. He learned healthier ways to manage stress, process trauma, and stay grounded during uncertainty. He also embraced openness, choosing to talk about his addiction rather than hide it. Today, his story stands as a reminder that trauma doesn't always come from one dramatic moment. Sometimes it's cumulative, stress layered on stress, silence layered on silence. And addiction doesn't discriminate between fame and anonymity. What matters is recognizing when coping turns into harm and having the courage to ask for help. David Bromstad's journey isn't about perfection. It's about recovery, awareness, and resilience. By confronting trauma at its core, he didn't just rebuild a home, he rebuilt himself. And in doing so, he showed that healing begins not with escape, but with facing the pain we've been running from.